Meet Emily on a dream trip through Europe with her friends. From the majestic Eiffel Tower in Paris to the historic streets of Rome, every moment is magical. But disaster strikes. Emily drops her phone, thinking she's lost all her precious photos and videos. Panic sets in. Then she remembers GotBackup. Every memory is safely stored in the cloud. Emily gets a new phone, logs into GotBackup, and there they are. Every photo, every video, every memory perfectly intact. Thanks to GotBackup, Emily's adventure is truly unforgettable.
Well, good evening, everyone. Chris and Tammy here. Maybe I should say good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. You probably noticed Tammy and I are sharing the screen. It just happened that 2 minutes prior to the presentation, of course, her computer needed to went through a complete update. And it's basically out of commission probably for the next 5-10 minutes. So for that reason, we decided to join team and to do this together. So we want to welcome you to our GotBackup presentation this evening. It's always an honor. Tammy and I just came back from an amazing trip from Mexico. And I found that I'm actually, I know that sounds funny, but in the calendar, based on my calendar days, I'm a mole. And a mole is M-O-L, which is what is it, a cougar? A jaguar, leadership and everything else, which I thought was so cool. There was a lot of accuracy, and we had an amazing time, especially with the Mayan beliefs and everything else, which is absolutely great and wonderful. So let me just go ahead and share the screen here with the presentation. And let me just do this here. Here we go. So as we begin here, just want to welcome Marvin from Vegas. Great to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Bakshi from Bangladesh. Great to see you here. And we have John from Ohio. Welcome, welcome. MC from Texas. Welcome, everybody. Gary, great to see you from Ottawa. We have here Siguru. Great to see you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, here it is, folks. By the way, if you find that you're not able to access the GotBackup server, the website, whatever service that you're utilizing, Joel, I sent a message. It's also in our Telegram group, and it's probably if you connected with a customer service, you probably again. Obviously, if you're trying to use that through the website, it may not work. And the reason is that there's a fiber issue. So again, it's not to silly GotBackup. It's one of those things that happens. Everybody goes through it. Dropbox went through this. A lot of company goes through it. It's just technology, folks, and they're working on it. So don't be worried. Everything is fine. Your data's safe. Everything's safe. It's just that there's a little issue with the communication here. So again, just welcome everybody. So let's start with the presentation. And Tammy, let's kind of begin with how do we get introduced to GotBackup?
Yeah, so it's been two and a half,
almost 3 years now.
Well, yeah. We've been friends with the owner of a company called Global Virtual Opportunities, and he contacted Chris and I, like Chris said, almost 3 years now back about this new project called GotBackup. And I think at the time it was they were 6 weeks in, and they were already, I believe, in something like 24 countries. And he was telling us that, digital is the way to go. And he explained data storage. You're basically going to hear what Joel shared with Chris and I back then. And when we saw it, we're like, oh my gosh, we have to be part of this. And what Joel didn't know is first of all, we've been in the industry of network marketing for so many years in basically supplement. And what he didn't know is Chris and I were saying, oh, we should add a digital product into our formula, because we know that digital is growing fast and it's truly global. So yeah, so it's interesting how all of this aligned for Chris and I and the people that we know in the international markets.
Yeah, and you probably noticed that the attendance is a little low. It's because, again, there's thousands of emails that are being sent. Just basically 15 minutes, an hour prior. None of those emails went out. So that's, I don't know if they're going to be sent later on, but anyway, they're in the queue somewhere. It's one of the reasons why the attendance is not the same here tonight. But we want to welcome here and thank you for joining in. That's the reason why we highly recommend to subscribe to the GBO YouTube channel. That way, whenever there's something that's being broadcasted, you get an automatic notification, which really does help. Now, back to presentation here, folks. What's really important to understand here is one of the reasons why the opportunity is so attractive It's an opportunity where families globally from all over the world can be impacted positively due to the fact that the cost of entry is extremely affordable, but it's also a service that everyone needs. And the fact is, we're not really competing because we have our own what's the word I'm looking for, direction, our own category, because we're dealing with a cloud storage associated with the home business, which is really, really kind of unheard of. It's very new. So this is a really, really good opportunity for you to take advantage of this before everybody else starts doing this. And the question I want to ask you is, why are you here? Maybe you're looking to create another stream of income. Maybe you're looking for something to subsidize, the differences in salary or income or whatever's been going on in inflation, the cost of groceries. And I mean, have you been in Canada, folks? Groceries is just out of control. And again, it's because we're taxed to death. But the fact here, folks, what's really important is how can we earn more income and how can we create a better lifestyle for all of us? And the question here is, it's time to turn your dreams into reality. This is exactly what Tammy and I are living. We're living the life that we want to live, opposed to the life that we have to live because of decisions like we're presenting to you that we made. And the fact is, you deserve to live the life that you want to live, opposed to the life that you have to live. Would you agree, Tammy?
Oh, absolutely. And, it's all about helping other people. And that's what I love about our profession. It's about helping people achieve their dreams. It's help them achieve some goals, because a lot of people don't believe that they can do it. A lot of people, they don't know what is out there. And that's another thing, and what they could really thrive with. And that's why we're excited about GotBackup, because we've seen already thousands of people who are transforming their lives through this platform and internationally, which is really, really exciting.
So a little bit about the company, for those of you that are brand new. And again, folks, if you've been here for a while, even though you heard this before, this is really good information, because that's the backbone of how it all started. The company began in 1997 from Gatineau, Quebec, which I was living across that bridge in Ottawa at the time. And what's going on is Joel decided to move his entire company and his entire family into Texas. And the reason why is because, which is kind of ironic, the fiber optic in this area could support companies like Google, Adobe, Toyota, like the big corporations, because his business has grown so much, the demand for bandwidth. This is kind of like a superhighway traffic, right? Like if you're in California and you have these 16 lanes, right? 8 on one side, 8 on the other. In Toronto, it's kind of similar, maybe not 16. But the fact here is there's many lanes, so many cars can go by. Even though in peak hours, you'll still get traffic. And that's why sometimes when you click and things are a little bit slow, well, that has something to do with it. And the fiber optic is very, very important. So there's many companies that are utilizing these channels to be able to communicate with the world. So he's in a 10,000 square feet data center. And instead of me explaining all the details, let's hear from the mouth of the owner exactly what's going on behind the scene. Let's watch this together.
Hey guys, welcome to the corporate office of GotBackup. Now everybody wants to know, are we super secure? And how do we offer such an amazing service at such a low price? So this is in our tech room. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take you on a tour of our server room to show you just how secure it is, and we welcome you into the family. So let's go over to the server room. So the first thing I wanna explain to you guys is that we're fully PCI compliant. For physical PCI compliance, what does that mean? It means we're allowed to physically store credit cards in our data center because we're uber secure. So we've passed all the tests for that, and we're legally allowed to store credit cards and your storage. So one of the first requirements for PCI compliance is you have to have 2 coded doors before you get into your server room. We also, as a company, like to have fun, so we call it Area 51. So anyway, I'm gonna code this door with my back here so you guys can't see what the code is. Come in this way. This is a simple inventory room, guys. We build servers here and so forth. And then our second coded door is over here, okay? And so we have a coded door here as well to get into the server room. So here we are in the server room, guys. This is where all the magic happens. So a couple of things people ask. Joel, how secure is my data, and could you ever lose our data? So as an example, let's come here. It's impossible to lose your data, and here's why. If you look at this storage array, and we have hundreds of storage arrays in here. There's 14 hard drives across this storage array. 4 of these hard drives could fail, which statistically never happens, but let's say it did. 4 of these hard drives need to fail before we start to lose some data. But guess what? We're not going to lose any data because this is striped to here. This whole rack of hard drives here is copied here. Just the same here. All these hard drives here are copied here. So there's not a single point of failure relative to your data. There's also no single point of failure in the server room. As an example, there's A power and B power. Every server is plugged into A power. Every server is plugged into B power. Also, relative to cooling of this room, if you come over here, you'll see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 air conditioners in this server room. So the air is never going to be a problem. The other thing as well is we're very, very efficient. If you look up at the ceiling, let's come back over here, you'll see vents up there, and the cold air is strategically placed in front of the servers here, so it sucks in all the cold air, and it goes over into the hot aisle behind this wall here. So very, very efficient server room as well. And finally, if God forbid there was ever a fire in this room, we have here what's called a fire suppression system. What this system does, it's just a bunch of electronics behind here, but we can open it up, okay, is if God forbid there was a fire, and in 25 years there's never been a fire, but it will snuff out all the oxygen in this room. If there's no oxygen, then the fire goes out, right? So we don't use water to destroy the equipment. So that's the basics of the server room. Super, super secure and super redundant relative to your data. So the other aspect to security is we use the exact same security as Amazon, as Google, as all the big players, Microsoft. It's patented security, it's military grade, 256-bit encryption security. So your stuff is very secure. So come.
Again, we're just kind of showing you a segment of a longer video that you can actually view once you're a member of GotBackup, and you can see the entire story. And folks, what's really important here is, again, if you're in business or you want to be in business and you're looking for what can you focus, where can you focus your time? And again, investment is so little, but where can you focus that time and investment to prepare for the future? And I think it's important that we look at trends. What is it that people are looking for? What's actually working right now? What are people looking for? So at the end of the day, let's talk about those two trends so you get a better understanding why the timing is absolutely impeccable for this opportunity.
Yeah, and you can see trend number 1, everybody on their devices. Isn't that true? And it doesn't matter where you go. Chris and I, we did a lot of traveling in our trip, and everybody's on their devices. Everybody's taking pictures and videos. It was just absolutely beautiful. But what are they doing? They're filling up their phones. And it's a great thing that we have lots of data. We have lots of great memories. But once the devices are full, then we have, obviously we don't have any more space, and then we have to add more data. So that is a huge market, you guys, absolutely huge.
That's an understatement. And to back what Tammy's talking about here is the percentage of global mobile traffic from 2011 to 2025. This is a ChatGPT report that I got from the data I provided to look for this information so I can get a better graph that's updated. And you're looking from 6% to 64% from 2011 to 2025. Now, this is quite significant. Here's another one that we also have. Now, these numbers, folks, don't take me for granted. You can do your own research, and you'll find that these numbers are more aggressive now. The cloud storage market worldwide from 2022 to 2030 went from $90 billion in 2022 to close to $500 billion in 2030. I mean, folks, numbers don't lie. So there's no scam here, so it's just pure ignorance. If some people are, you gotta look at the numbers. Mm-hmm. These are cloud storage, and we're dealing with a company who provides you, and you'll see the amount of terabytes that they provide to you for the price, which is so inexpensive. Absolutely amazing. Here's another one that I know you guys are quite familiar with, the addiction that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we said, it doesn't matter where you go. Everybody's on their devices. Why are they on their devices? Because you can do almost anything just from a phone. And it's exciting because, we've been building international businesses for a very long time, 25 plus years, traveling the world. Everybody has devices. They have a phone. And if they can make an income just from working with their device, then we're doing a great service for people around the globe. So I love this project. I really love it.
I totally agree. And here's another, again, a concern that is a growing concern. So we're not dealing with those 8x5 cards with picture that we used to share, for decades, to be honest. We're dealing with digital data. Everything is stored into these devices. Every single thing we have. God forbid, if your device is stolen or broken or damaged, 45% of the general population went through that. Think about it. Think of precious moments with your family members, special events that you have on your device, and this is not backed up. You did not plan for your insurance policy. That's what we're talking about here. 5,700 screens are cracked every hour. Laptops, cell phones stolen every 43 seconds. And these numbers are a bit outdated. So what I mean by that is probably worse today, considering the economy that we're facing. Here's another message I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yeah. And I shared this a little bit earlier. People are filling up their devices. They get these messages, and these messages are telling you two things: start cleaning up or start paying more. So that's why GotBackup is super exciting for us, and many people who obviously got started with this have big vision, because people are filling up their devices worldwide. Massive opportunity.
I totally agree, Tammy. And the fact here is global trend number 2 is people are looking for different stream of incomes. How can I make more money to basically live a better quality of life? 42% of Americans have side businesses. 62% of Gen Z. These are our children. Tammy and I are flirting with the 60s right now. Our kids,
early 60s.
early 60s. Our kids are grown adults. They also have businesses. What about the rest of the world? That's exactly, folks, what we're talking about here. This is what we're talking about. And you can leverage these global trends with GotBackup. That's why this opportunity is so attractive. So let's cover, what do we have with the inline consumer?
Yeah, so you can see here it says GotBackup Pro, and this is a way to sign up. And we're going to explain the couple ways. And this is for people who want to leverage online marketing tools to help them grow their business faster. That's the bottom line. And Chris is going to briefly go through some of these tools that you can leverage by using them, but also marketing them as well. And the main product is basically what we learned when we got started is the family package is when you get 6 terabytes of data storage. It says 6 accounts. What that means is on your business account, you can add 5 additional, they call them sub accounts. And what that allows them to do is they have their own private password. You decide how much data you want to give that person, and there's unlimited devices. So when we saw this, we were like, oh my gosh, every single family, they will go crazy when they see this value, because it's only $10 a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's massive.
And despite that, you'll never please everybody. It's just the way life is. But folks, this is an incredible deal. And what you're looking, especially right now with the Pro package, maybe some of you are being aware of this or not, but we have a social media platform tool called the Marco Max, which you'll be able to use pre-existing videos. And again, I'm talking about, because it's not displayed here, that's included with your Pro, where you'll be able to book and if you follow any of, especially last Saturday with Joel's training, you saw the potential with this social media tools by having the system posting your tools on your Facebook pages or whatever platform that you have, Instagram, TikTok. This is so powerful. That's included in the Pro. It's not on the presentation yet, but it's coming very soon when it's going to be released publicly. I know some of us are testing it out, and it's phenomenal. Now, VDuber, this is like your own YouTube channel. Absolutely awesome. Testimonial generator, especially today, you need social credibility. Now you can actually ask people that like you, know you, trust you, to share some information about who you are and how you might have contributed into your life, that you can use that to promote whatever it is that you want to promote. Memory place. Tammy and I just went to Mexico. We have hundreds of pictures each, like, you know, her daughter and her husband, myself, Tammy, and then we use our own memory place, so we can start exchanging all these wonderful moments that I did not take, that she did, or whatsoever. So we can choose the videos and the pictures that we want. Folks, that is amazing. And then we have an email marketing platform. You know, folks, your email list is your lifeline. You're not in business if you're not communicating with the outside world about what you have to offer. That's included in there. You have a funnel page builder. Why so important? Because unfortunately, I can't really show you the system at the end because, as I mentioned earlier, we have some traffic issues to be able to access all the information, which will be resolved in a few hours. My point here is that you can change the language. You can have your own videos. You can do all these changes without you having to have any knowledge on how to create pages by utilizing this funnel builder. Absolutely amazing. And what's really cool, each of those tools can independently be promoted, and they each have a capture page. What's a capture page? It's a fancy name for a little website that you share within your social network, which is included when you sign up with GotBackup, which will capture their name and email. That's why they call it a capture page, which in return, you can stay in touch with them with exactly what you have to offer to convert them to a client or an associate or both, which is absolutely awesome. So making money with GotBackup is absolutely awesome. People are making real money with this. And let me share some of the proof here. We have some of the above the diamonds. These are the blue diamond, triple diamond, double diamonds in different parts of the world. We have here diamonds, and there's a few others that are not in here that actually have reached the diamond level.
Quite a few.
A few actually that are around the globe. We have rubies. And there's always new people that are popping in. I know I might be missing a few flyers, which I will be adding on. But what's really exciting is I just added right now. Let's see here. We have here Jeff, that's actually from the US, that just hit Emerald, and it's written in white. I can't see it.
Awesome! Congratulations.
Yeah, from Ghana. Absolutely absolutely amazing. Same thing here. We have another group of people here that have reached a sapphire. I just added from. There's Michael from Canada, and we have Nicola from Italy. Okay, so again, absolutely amazing. You can see there's people from all over the world that are actually getting great results with the opportunity of GotBackup. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to share with you some of the ways on how we make money here. We're just going to focus on 1, 2, and 3 because these are the most significant ones, and then we'll touch briefly on the 4, 5, 6, and 7. So Tammy, let's talk about number 1.
Yeah, so it's called customer acquisition bonus. And this is when Chris was sharing the capture page. This is when you start sharing your links, whether it's social media or you share it with people that you meet along the way. And if they join, then they have 2 choices. They can come in monthly or yearly. And that's with the family plan. So if they decide to come in monthly, you're going to get 200% up front. You can see it's $9.97. We always say $10. So you're looking at 200% there. And if they decide to come in yearly, which is what most people do, and it's $99.97, so $100 for the year, you save a couple months of payments, and you will get 50% up front. I've never seen companies pay up front so well. So it's very, very exciting to introduce people to the company. And you can see 25%. This is for the extra marketing stuff. And for the pro plan, that's a whole new level. So if somebody signs up as a pro plan member, then you're going to get $200. And the person who sponsored you is going to get 50, and the person who sponsors them is going to get 50. And the reason Joel does that is he wants to create the
encourage the
duplication of support, and that's the key. And you can see customers on the bottom. So just to talk about that briefly, is if you had 20 people and each one of them took the family plan yearly, then you're going to make $1,000 in commissions. And if you just had 20 customers, which a lot of people have customers, not everybody wants to make money. I don't know why, but not everybody does, right? So you get 25% ongoing, so you get $50 commission every single month. So the pro plan is just a totally different level. So if you had 20 people who signed up pro plan times $200, you're going to make $4,000 in commission. I don't know about you, but that's a really, really good income. And these are the ones that will really take it serious and take their businesses to another level. And you can see an example of customers too. If anybody wanted to use all the marketing tools, but they don't want to build, you're looking at $100 every single month to have 20 people using the tools.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Marvin. Absolutely well said. And here's the thing here, folks. The number 2 way we get paid is based on cycle earning. There's 2 teams. There's a right team and there's a left team. It's as simple as that. And the reason why you see indirect referral is because let's say you have a third person. Think about it. Where does the third person has to be placed? Well, it has to be underneath the last person on the right or the last person on the left. That's the reason why you see indirect referral, because it's someone above you that is sharing the same leg as you that happens to made a decision to put someone there to grow that side, because maybe the other side is actually much bigger. So again, understanding this, let's look at how we earn. So there are 2 tiers, tier 1, tier 2. These are based on your rank. And I'll come back to that a little bit later. Step 1, you need to be active. Just like you're active for any of the digital services that you use, like think about the TV programs you watch or the apps you pay for. You pay a membership every single month. Okay, same thing here. Number 2 is you enroll 2 people. 1 person on your left team, 1 person on your right team. Once you have done that, now you've accomplished number 2. Number 3, this is important. The system requires a minimum of 6 people in a ratio of 4:2. That means there has to be 4 people on one side or 2 on the other side. It doesn't matter what side that occurred. As long as this occurs, the system considers it as one cycle. The value of a cycle would be based on the company's profitability. And as I mentioned earlier, it's based on your rank, based on the fact that you're tier 1 and tier 2. And I'll come back to that a little bit later. My question to you is, how many cycles do you want? Right? So this is based on the team that's building on the left team and the right team. What you're seeing here now, that's just a cycle match bonus. You know, when time you talk about the 20 people as an example you bring in, well, you have the potential to earn a matching cycle of every single person that you brought in. But you need to be a sapphire for that. Now, I'll come back to that a little bit later when we talk about the ranks. You're earning 25% from all these 20 people based on the cycle that they've earned. So if they're building their businesses and their income increases, which means that you'll have the potential to earn a percentage of that if you reach sapphire and above. As you can see, these numbers increase quite significantly. When you see 1,000 to 20,000, these are capped. There are people that will build an organization with or without you, and it's just going to explode because that's who they are. Now, if you sponsor someone that builds an organization and your commission, let's say, goes up to 2,000, but you're a sapphire, you can't make more than 1,000. You see what I'm getting at? That means you have to become an emerald to go reach to get more money. So it's really interesting the way the plan is designed. It's absolutely brilliant. This can go up to $20,000 for each of those 20. Am I saying you're going to make that? No, that is the potential. Can you? Of course you could. But again, it's based on the activities that you're doing and attending on a regular basis. And as Marvin mentioned earlier, is you need to believe in yourself and you need to take action, daily action, and stay plugged in. Absolutely correct. Now, the other bonuses that you see here, 4, 5, 6, and 7, these are bonuses that increase as you move up in rank. For example, you move up to the level of bonus, then you start getting number 4. And then when you move up to platinum and above and everything else, you start going further and further and further. And I'll explain that a little bit later. So this is how the plan is designed. It grows with you.
Yeah, there's a super simple chart that shows you all the qualifications. And if you can duplicate something simple like this, which is what I'm going to share with you, If you can get that duplicating within the people that you bring into your structure, and they bring people in and they bring people in, then you're going to have massive success along with the people. So it's not just you having success, it's helping other people as well. So it's simple. Sign up, send your links. 2 people sign up, but 1 left, 1 right. Chris shared the 2-team structure. Go and do it again. 1 right, 1 left, doesn't matter either way. And then you duplicate that over and over and over. So the moment you sign somebody up, this is exactly what you train them to do. And it looks really simple, you guys, which it is. And people can duplicate it. Doesn't matter how busy they are. But if you get this duplicating, it's huge.
I totally agree. And Gregory, you're absolutely dead on this. It's a much needed service. And here's the thing, folks. How do we get started? Well, here's the thing. You're looking at $20 a year to get started. And then there's packages. We talk about the pro package. We highly recommend. It's a $500 investment for the entire year. You're covered with all the tools, all the bells and whistles. And the year after that, you just renew for half of that, $199.97. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, less than half. If you want to go monthly, then it's $20 a month, $19.97 a month. I recommend yearly because you get 2 months for free. And again, if you duplicate that, then you are secured for 12 months with the residual coming in from your downline. So that's why I really recommend the year package. It's a win-win for everybody. If let's say you want to start with more conservatively, just go with the family pack, which will include the cloud storage, which is what we've been talking about since the beginning, which is $100 a year and plus your $20. It's $120 a year. And that's it. That's all there is to it. At that point, after this, it just continues. And again, you can also go in and pay $10 a month if you want to start, maybe because you're a little bit cold feet at the beginning, and that's totally cool. I recommend a yearly. We recommend a yearly because it makes a lot more financial sense. And of course, you have the enterprise business for those that maybe require more space. So how many countries are we in?
You can see that 164. What really excited Chris and I is we're, like I mentioned, we're so used to physical products. So when we see this digital platform, we see a huge international expansion. So you can be in any country because everybody has devices and everybody needs data storage. And it's quite expensive in many different countries. If you've never traveled before, and you might think, oh, it's not so much here. I can tell you in other countries, it is. So something like this will be massive. So you can target market this stuff in different international markets. So it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the thing, and by the way, I'm not sure if we're 165, 164. At the end of the day, folks, we'll figure this out. I know things are changing.
Oh, we
really,
have 165 now?
Well, Mark Paul says 165 and
Oh,
Robin
that's
says
great.
164. So I have to check. I haven't seen the 165
Hey, we've been
yet.
on vacation.
Yeah, exactly. So folks, again, recognition is so important because again, babies cry for it and adults die for it. And it's all part of the process of earning a really good income. So this chart here is a ladder. When you see bronze, this is basically you're sponsored one person in your business. As a copper, that's exactly the example that Tammy shared with you on the format that you want to build. Is one person on your left, one person on your right. The moment you do that, then you are a copper. The key is to produce copper. When people come in, they become copper. When you have the habit of duplicating this, that's what gets you to grow. Now you're a silver if someone in your team became a copper that came from your enrollment tree. So it could be someone you brought in or someone that was brought in by someone you brought in. That's powerful. Now, as a gold, now that's when you start moving from 1 to 3. Now you're going to 4. But you need to have sponsored 5 people, and 3 out of those are coppers. You understand? As a platinum, now what's happening is you introduce 10 people. But you know what's exciting? These 10 people will qualify you. Of course, there's more qualification as you move up in rank, but it will qualify you for Sapphire and Emerald. So this is really cool. So once you got your 10, now what you need to focus on is the duplication process. As a platinum, instead of 3, there's 4 people that are copper. Now you start moving from tier 1 to tier 2 in the binary and not the binary and the cycle bonus. This is really exciting, folks. You're making more money with the exact same team just by moving up rank. Now, as you move a sapphire, now what's happening is, remember, you still have your 10, but now you need 5 people that became copper from 4. So from 3 to 4 to 5 coppers. Now you're a sapphire. Why is that important? Remember when you talk about the magic cycle, you earn a percentage from all the people you brought into the business? That occurs when you're a sapphire and above. And now you move up to an emerald, ruby, and all, then you start expanding on all the bonuses that the company has to offer, all the way up to black diamond. This is exciting, folks. Let's kind of conclude with the support that you get as you begin.
Yeah, and even if you're learning this for the first time and you don't quite understand, don't worry about it. Everybody was in the same boat at the beginning. Like I mentioned, there's a phenomenal, simple explain chart on how to go up the ranks. So for support, you've got your personalized referral link, you got your landing page, you've got your email marketing system that's automatically built in. And you can create, you're creating automation. That's really what everybody's looking for today. And marketing tools are always expanding in different languages. You've got regular online presentations. Tonight is a perfect example of the company presentation. And then there's team presentations. There's different languages around the world that are presenting right now. You've got regular trainings that happen with the company. Last Saturday, Joel did a training because we were on vacation. And so you'd be able to go and see that on the Global Virtual Opportunities YouTube channel. You can go and check that out if you haven't yet, because that training, oh my gosh, once that is launched, it's going to be massive. People are going to be super, super excited on how fast their businesses are going to grow. But you have to be a pro member.
Absolutely agreed. And here's the thing, folks, in conclusion, usually I like to do a little tour of your back office to see how things are. But I know right now the company is still dealing with a fiber optic issue. But folks, listen, we have a product that everyone needs. We have a business that everyone can afford. Folks, don't listen to the naysayers. Often they tend to be sick and broke. And at the end of the day, folks, I'm not trying to be mocking here. My point in telling you this here is focus on your own gut feeling. It's $10 a month. We're not asking for thousands of dollars here. It's nickel and dimes.
Coffee, fancy coffee.
Fancy coffee every month. So, and I know that most people drink more than one coffee, a month. My point here is a wonderful opportunity. Take advantage of this, folks. Just share it with your social network. Use the tools. And what Joel's introducing right now with the social media promoting system, I'm telling you, some of you are going to do so well. And we're already starting seeing people testing the system that are getting an amazing amount of views. And because of that, they're going to have more and more people that are going to be looking at what they have to offer. So I know here, Michael, you've mentioned here 165. So we'll check this out. We'll update the website, the presentation.
Solomon Islands. And so that was 165. We'll make sure that we update that. And I love the fact that we are growing. That's the most important thing. When you have an affordable product that people need, then it'll go massive.
Absolutely. So folks, listen, have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening. And again, if you realize that the system is just not working right now, it's just, again, a temporary issue. It happens from time to time. It's called technology. And it's not always the company, folks. It's sometimes what's happening is it's like think of the super highway and there's an accident tonight. And we need to clear the accident, and then the traffic goes back again. Okay, so just look at it that way, and then everything is going to be resolved. Okay, so Friday morning, Tammy do a presentation at 11 o'clock Eastern time, and I know that we're going to be moving out of that time slot. And just so you know that Joel is going to be taking over the Friday morning. He wants to be connected with all of you. And he has some ideas that he wants to share with you during the day. And of course, these are recorded. It'll be recorded on the GVO channel. So lots of updates. And on Saturday, Tammy and I are going to be doing a training. If you stay tuned, check your emails. Make sure you check your spam. Sometimes if you put your email from your spam into your inbox, the system will recognize it next time. And we'll let you know exactly what we're going to be covering. It's always around the system, the company, some of the things that you should be aware of in building your business. And we share our knowledge and experience to help you grow your business. So everybody listen, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. And we hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you like it, just smash that like button. Let's tell the algorithm that that is information that we need to share to the world and it has value. Have a great evening. Bye for now.
Have a great evening.